Hi, this is Akshasura from Konobos. Today we'll be talking about language localization. As an organization, you might have content which you want to publish in different languages, and that's completely normal. In this day and age, a lot of the websites are available in 2 or more languages, and content helps you localize your content pretty easily. So out of the box, you might notice that when you're in a content item, you do not see a language dropdown. But if you go into your project settings and localization, you can add multiple languages to localize on. By default, this sample project has Spanish. You can activate that if you wanted to add, for instance, Canadian French, so FRCA, as long as you know the language code. And then fallback is typically the way it works is if a value is specified in this language, it will use that. But if there's no value provided for this language for a field, it will fall back on a language you specify, which is a cool, neat feature. So in this case, since we have 2 other languages, we're able to specify, hey, if I don't find something for this text field, for instance, what should I fall back on? Should I go to English or Spanish? And you can pick the language of your preference, and you can set up multi-tiered language fallback, which kind of helps you in the long run. So if I go ahead and save this, get back into our content, you'll notice now that we have a language dropdown, and just because I have a new version in English doesn't mean I have a new version in Canadian French. So if I go to Canadian French, you will notice that none of the values are filled in. I can copy from an existing language. So I could say, okay, copy from English, in which case it pulls everything from English. Of course, we don't want to do that. We want to specify our own Canadian English versions of it. And as you can also see, at the bottom, we have a contact, but the contact itself doesn't have a Canadian French version of the item. So I can again copy from the English version and make my changes. And then if I publish these items, they are individual in terms of when you look at a specific item, a language version of the item has its own workflow in terms of publishing. Just because I modify and publish a English version of the item doesn't necessarily mean I have to do the same for a Canadian French or any other language. Language localization is, used, as I mentioned, quite often nowadays. So this is a really good way for you to figure out how you want to maintain your content. You can use the existing tools, as I mentioned before, using the notes. You could have discussions, assign contributors in order for you to propagate this. You could have workflows set up where languages are translated for a specific item as part of the workflow before you even publish it publicly as well. I really hope this was useful. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thanks again, and have a great day.